Hello students, in this video I want to talk about fixed charge and variable charged ions. We're right in the middle of this process where I've just covered the electron configuration of ions, and I'm about to show you some exceptions to this for ions. But before I do so, I want to go back and quickly review something that you learned, hopefully in your previous chemistry class. And that is that ions may have fixed charges or variable charges. So the first is fixed charge. And when an ion is said to have a fixed charge, that means an atom always forms the same kind of ion with the same charge. So fixed charge, we always know what the charge is on that ion. So sodium, for example, is always going to form a +1 ion. It's never going to be a +2 or a +3 or anything like that. That's what we mean by fixed charge. The charges are fixed. They are predictable. In contrast, variable charges the charges can be different. They are variable. They can vary. So variable charge means when the atom might form different kinds of ions with different charges possible. So for example, an iron may form an iron 2+, or it might form an iron 3+. So you need to be able to look at the periodic table and know which species, which elements form fixed charged ions and which ones form variably charged ions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you all the ones that form fixed charge ions, and then all the rest will be variable, okay? So fixed charged ions, which ones? Well, the species, the elements in group 1 are fixed, with the exception of hydrogen. So lithium will always lose 1 electron to become a lithium plus. Sodium will always lose 1 electron to become sodium plus. So group 1 elements form fixed charged ions, except for hydrogen. They always form a +1. Similarly, group 2 will always form a 2+ ion because they will always want to lose 2 electrons. So group 2 forms a 2+. These are fixed. We know every time that we have a magnesium forming an ion, it is always going to be a 2+ ion. And then we go over on the other side of the periodic table, and it's groups 15, 16, and 17 above the stairs only, okay? Groups 15, 16, and 17 elements, and only the ones above the stairs. And group 15 will always gain 1, 2, 3 electrons to become a 3- charge. Group 16 will always gain 1, 2 electrons to become a 2- charge. And they will form ions that are 3-, 2-, and 1-. Okay? So far, so good. Those are fixed and those are predictable. Group 1, except for hydrogen, group 2, group 15, 16, and 17 above the stairs. And there are 4 more that are predictable. Silver always forms a +1. Zinc and cadmium, they always form 2+ cations. And aluminum always forms a 3+ cation. So there's a little bit of an island of predictability out here in the sea of variable charges. All of the rest of these are variable, right? But silver is always a +1, zinc and cadmium are always 2+, and aluminum is always a 3+. So those 4 are always predictable. They are fixed. Silver, always a +1. Zinc and cadmium are always forming 2+. Aluminum is always 3+. And you need to memorize these. You need to memorize these because you need to know when an atom forms an ion, what charge is it going to have as an ion. And these are the ones that are fixed charge. These are the ones that are predictable. Variable charge, all the rest. So let me give you a couple of examples. We're just going to pick, let's pick gold. Is that a fixed charge or a variable charged ion when it forms an ion? Well, it starts out neutral, right? Everything on the periodic table is neutral when it starts out. Is it going to gain or lose electrons? Well, it's a metal, so it will lose electrons. Can we predict its charge? No, we can't predict its charge because it's not fixed. It is not in group 1, except for hydrogen, or group 2, or group 15, or 16, or 17 above the stairs. So gold is not one of those fixed charged ions, so it is a variably charged ion. What about lead? Well, it is not in group 1, except for hydrogen, or group 2, or group 15, or 16, or 17 above the stairs. So it is variably charged. What about carbon? Well, it is variably charged because it is not in groups 1 or 2, 15, 16, or 17 above the stairs. So when carbon forms an ion, it can be variably charged. What about hydrogen? It's in group 1, but remember we make an exception for hydrogen. So hydrogen as an ion is not fixed. Hydrogen can take on a +1 or it can take on a -1 charge. Hydrogen is a variably charged ion when it forms an ion. What about the noble gases? What about neon? Well, it's not in any of the columns where I described fixed charges. Is it a variably charged species as an ion? Well, we do make an exception for noble gases because noble gases don't form ions at all, right? So they are not fixed charged species, nor are they variably charged species. They're already stable, so there's no need for them to gain or lose electrons. So again, you do need to remember which are the fixed charge ions, and then if it's not one of those, then it must be variably charged.